A week out from tomorrow, Anthony Albanese's big test takes place, in my view, when the voters who live in the federal seat of Dunkley in Victoria choose a new member of Parliament. Now, this follows the passing, of course, of former Labor MP Peter Murphy, who won the seat at the last election, and the Labor Party now holds a 6% margin. Now, Peter was a very popular local member, which will play into the hands of the Prime Minister and the Labor candidate, a woman by the name of Jody Bellair. Now, the problem for the Prime Minister, though, is that this is, and I'm talking of Dunkley, classic middle Australia. The seat stretches from suburbs like Carrum Downs to the more expensive Mount Eliza in the south, with a resurgent suburb of Frankston right in the middle. Now, you'll not get a more typical test of the mood of middle Australia than Saturday week. Now, Dunkley residents have mortgages. Many of them have both parents working. Those who have to rent are not able to service a mortgage, the rents are punishing. And if you want to test the cost of living pain and its impact on voters, this is the exact place to do it, Dunkley. Now, I must say, it's hard to pick who has the most to lose at this by-election, Anthony Albanese or the opposition leader Peter Dutton. You have to think the stage 3 tax cut backflip was aimed squarely for Labor to grab this vote. The vast majority of Dunkley voters, I reckon, though, will have already parked the broken promise line that the coalition is running hard with. Voters don't like being lied to, but Saturday week, in my view, will be a test on how much voters blame Labor for cost of living pressures. It's always about cost of living. Will they blame Labor for the 12 straight interest rate rises? Maybe. Will they blame Labor for a broken election promise to bring down energy prices, gas bills, electricity bills? You bet they will. And forget tax cuts. Telling people vote Labor and your power bill will be cheaper and then it doesn't happen, that will change votes. Now, you can add border control and the rush to grant Palestinians out of Gaza rushed visas. None of that will play well in this seat either. Many Dunkley voters also are forced to travel large distances by car to go to work. Petrol prices, although not in direct control from Canberra, Canberra does control the fuel excise that could make petrol cheaper. State Labor, hitting Victorians with new taxes, will also see some in Dunkley punish Anthony Albanese because he's also from Labor. And the area has health and education challenges as well. Now, cost of living, mortgage stress, rental pain and access to superior health care, that's Dunkley in a nutshell. Now, we will know in 8 days, but I think in the last week or two, the pressure of what this result will mean for the future of Prime Minister Albanese's leadership, I think it's been showing. Normally, the veteran MP is amiable and chatty with the media. In interviews, he rarely gets angry or gets upset. I've interviewed Anthony Albanese dozens of times. He was a regular guest with myself and Andrew Bolt on our radio show on 2GB when other Labor MPs wouldn't be seen dead talking to us. But I reckon the pressure post the tax cut backflip has started to show. He now conducts media appearances out on the road and bristles when any awkward, aggressive questions from the media are asked. And that's on a range of issues. He's taken head shaking and aggro responses to a new level. Now, we've picked a couple of examples from this week. Here was the Prime Minister on Monday.
Well, none. It won't.
You're ruling out any
yes.
change in Turkey.
Yes.
That seems absurd.
Well, it's a pretty clear answer for you. I don't. Again, we've had this in other contexts. What I don't do when I talk to world leaders is go to a media conference and discuss all of the details of it.
Head shaking, snappy, having a crack at the media. And then there was this from yesterday.
He is the angriest opposition leader we've ever seen. He makes Tony Abbott look constructive and positive going forward. Well, he's just wrong. He's just wrong. And you know what he does every day. You see it. He's someone who is defined by being negative.
Bit of a smile there, but he's bagging Peter Dutton. He's not talking about policy. Look, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but he appears to be a man under great pressure. Confidence is crucial to life in the public eye. The no vote, I think, rocked Anthony Albanese because he'd convinced himself that the referendum, the yes vote, could not be lost. Then he was jammed by colleagues to break a promise written in blood around tax. Getting engaged to his partner, I guess, allowed him to smile for a couple of days, but that smile will disappear very quickly if, as unlikely as it might be, he loses Dunkley on Saturday week. Stay tuned. And by the way, I'll join Paul Murray Monday night after a Sky Leaders debate down in Frankston.